So I've owned a CrossFit gym for 11 years now, and I've been coaching people online for a little over 5 years. And one thing that is super common that I see in the gym and online is this idea that CrossFit is dangerous, that it's going to get you injured. There is nothing inherently injurious about the movements that we're doing. The reason that people get injured is because they do them poorly. We teach them about intensity. We teach them to push themselves hard. And intensity is such a valuable thing when it comes to making progress in fitness, which is why people make such good progress doing CrossFit training, because it is intense, because they are pushing themselves really, really hard. But what happens is that people learn how to push themselves and then they don't learn how to do anything else. And they think that just pushing themselves harder or doing more reps or, whatever is going to get them to the next level. Typically, when people want to excel, they look to what program they need to be doing. They want to be better at CrossFit, so they find a competitor program. But what they don't understand is that they are adding volume and more intensity on top of a very fragile base. A lot of people have not built solid positions and good movement patterns in order to stack that intensity on top and really start to excel from it. And you can get basically as far as your genetics will allow you with pushing yourself really hard. Some people can get away with a lot, and some people can't get away with much at all before they start having problems. I had a girl in my class this morning. She had been struggling with a back thing for a while, and we were lifting in the morning. She did squat, clean, split jerk, hang squat, clean, split jerk from the ground. Looked great. Built up to like 155, I think. And then we go to the Metcon. It's a 6-minute AMRAP, 60 cal echo bike, 45 for the ladies, and then max reps of dumbbell clean and jerk in the remaining time with a single dumbbell. And she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do the hang." And she was like, "Oh, whenever I take weight from the ground in a Metcon, that's when my back starts to hurt." And I was like, "You just did a really heavy bar over there." She was like, "Oh yeah, but I'm really focused during the strength part." That's exactly what we need to do in the Metcon part. And this is something that I see from people all over the world, all the time. People think that when they're doing their strength training, they need to focus, they need to be very intentional about the way they move, and then they go into the conditioning and they just, all bets are off. And they just think that they just need to go hard in that point. And if they try to focus on their movement, that they feel like slows them down, and they feel like they're not going to get as much from it. So what I told her was, we're going to do the bike, and you're going to treat that like it's your Metcon. Go hard. Push yourself as hard as you can. Once you get off the bike and you walk up to this dumbbell, we're going to take it from the ground, but I want you to be very intentional about every single rep and make sure that you're moving with the best possible movement you can. Treat the dumbbell like it's your strength training for today. And she did just that. Did the Metcon, walks with the dumbbell, does, 6 to 10, really intentional about the way that she's putting a dumbbell down on the ground, really intentional about the way she's doing the whole movement. Sets the dumbbell down, I'm like, "Hey, how was that?" She was like, "Oh, it's great. My back, I don't feel my back at all. It's awesome." And she was like, "I do feel myself twisting a little bit." And I was like, "Okay, well, that is your movement pattern. That is your habit. That is what you are currently, that's where your body is trying to make you go because you had an injury." And so what you need to do in that situation is try to do it correctly. Try to fix the movement pattern. And if you can do that while you're moving, especially with some load, it will confirm to your brain that your body is okay. And that is how you can progress past injuries, is, give your body the time it needs to heal, to do whatever it does. And then once you start reintroducing movement, it needs to be slow and steady at first, and then you can gradually ramp it up as long as you are able to maintain good positions and good patterns. I put out a video a week ago about the table of positions and patterns, which helps you understand how all these movements connect and how all these patterns are connected to each other. Because some people will have a really good pattern in one movement, and then another movement that shares the same exact pattern or the same positions, and they'll just move completely different with it. So the best way that you can increase your fitness improve in CrossFit, develop the higher skill movements, is work on good positions first, develop really strong patterns second, and that will lead you to performance. And this is literally the foundation of what I teach on Technique Team every single day. And it doesn't matter, where you're at with fitness. If you're young, if you're old, if you're injured, if you're healthy, it does not matter. All movement boils down to those same things. It's all about how to control your brain. That is one thing that bodybuilding got very right, is that mind-muscle connection. And for whatever reason, CrossFitters just think that doesn't matter at all, and they can just flip the switch and go hard. In order to flip the switch and just go hard, you need to have done the pre-work. You need to have built those good patterns and those good positions, and then we can really dial up the intensity on top of it. So if you want to learn more about how I help people with that on Technique Team, check out the link in the description. If you like this video, let me know in the comments below. YouTube will recommend another video that you watch from me next. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.